Hi, welcome. Hey everyone, welcome to this live event. I see we have a few already waiting. So good to have you here. I'm Gemma Keeling, an English teacher and communication coach with over 15 years of experience helping professionals achieve communication clarity and confidence. So I would love to hear about you. Where are you right now? Where are you from? And how are you? Are you having a good evening? Let me know where you are. I'm currently in Mexico City, so it is 6 p.m. The sun is just about to set. Let me know where you are watching from. I think we have a few people joining from LinkedIn as well as YouTube, so let me know where you're joining from. So today's session, I'm very excited to be sharing all about how you can simplify complex ideas. So I am going to be sharing my slides with you. I do have like a training with you today, really excited to do that. I know it's been a while. I see a few messages. Haseen said he's missed me. I've definitely missed you too. It's been a long time, I think over 6 months since I've been live. So I appreciate the patience that you've had, and I'm really excited to be back. So good to see you. I know I have a few joining here on YouTube, so let me know. If you're just joining, welcome. Let me know where you are joining from. I am originally from England, but I'm living right now in Mexico City. Now, one concept I've spoken about before is the importance of learning language, especially vocabulary, in context. Now, language learning in context helps you to understand the actual meaning and how the language is used. When you use language in conversations, it will also help you sound more fluent generally and feel more confident. But it is important to use and learn language for a specific situation. So today we're going to be looking at some specific situations and in a way that you can communicate yourself. So you're going to be learning more vocabulary, but specifically how you can communicate complex concepts simply. Now, this is specifically for design and tech professionals. If you don't work in design and tech, I'm sure it will still be very useful. Okay, let's see, we have a few of you joining. Carolina, welcome. Hi, Carolina from Costa Rica. Very nice. How is it in Costa Rica today? Perfect. Good to have you here. So like I said, I'm going to be sharing my slides with you. We'll be getting started in just a moment. And yes, I'm very excited. So let's just bring everything up. Let's see if the technology is working today. Perfect. Nice to have you here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, looks like Jamie from Cali, Colombia. Was it Jaime? Let me know if the pronunciation of your name. Great to have you here. Nice. I think in Colombia, in Cali, it should be 7 p.m. So hopefully not too late. It is the evening for me in Mexico City. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. Like I said, I have some slides that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I'm going to do that right away. Let's see if you can see my slides. Hi, me. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I thought it would be like Jaime. Good to know the pronunciation. I thought so. Perfect. Nice to have you join us. So I'd just like to know if you can see my slides. That would be really cool if you could let me know. Let's see if everything is working correctly. Let's see. We always have tech issues. It's okay. If you can't see them, it's not a problem. I'm still going to be going through today's session, but it looks like there's an issue with permission. No, don't say anything. That's a shame. Let me see what I can do. I appreciate you letting me know, Carolina. Okay. So if you're just joining, I would love to know, where are you from and what do you do? So what is your job? What is your work? Where are you from and what do you do? Perfect. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Okay, it looks like I'm not able to share them. So I'm going to just go through them. Unfortunately, I can't share them, but I will go through the session. Usually I don't share my slides. I usually teach on these lives without them. So I wanted to share them, but it's not a big problem. It looks like we have, unfortunately I can't see your name. It just says LinkedIn user. Let's see. You're from Brazil and a product designer. Wonderful. Which city or area of Brazil are you from? Let me know. Okay. My boo said, hi, Gemma. I'm excited to see you once again. Yeah, I think you mean it's been such a long time. I know it has been a long time. I apologize. It's been maybe 6 months that I did a live. I've been working on a few different other projects, but I'm excited to be back and sharing with you today. So if you're just joining, I am sharing about communicating complex concepts simply for design and tech professionals. Now, one thing is the importance of your language choice. Now, language choice and the language that you choose to use in a conversation is a powerful tool. And it's a way for us to share our information and our ideas. And really, it plays a crucial role when it comes to professional discussions. So the words that you use and the phrases that you choose, as well as the tone of your language, so if it's formal or informal, also your style of language, it can greatly influence how your work is perceived by others. So you want to choose the right language, but how can you do that? Now, choosing the right language can help you to convey your ideas and decisions effectively. It can also help you to build credibility, which is also important in your professional job, and also engage your audience. So your audience could be your colleagues or its stakeholders. Now, poor language choices can make it difficult for others to understand you and appreciate your work. So if you've just joined, let me know where you are from and what do you do. So what is your job? What is your work? For those of you that don't know me, I'm Gemma Keeling and I help professionals from all over the world. I've actually been teaching for over 15 years and I help professionals to achieve communication confidence so they can feel really great and just thrive at work. Now, many times, even if you have a good level, sometimes it can feel like you're just surviving with English. I know I definitely feel like that sometimes in Spanish. So I can help you when it comes to really feeling more confident in your professional career. So this is a little bit about myself. So one thing I want to talk about is specific language and context. Now, I mentioned earlier that that's really important because I don't know if you've ever studied English or studied any language and you go to language classes, you go to a language school. One thing that can be challenging is when you learn language generally. Now, I know for me, one thing is I might feel confident in a very specific conversation or situation. So for me, I'm learning Spanish. when I go to the supermarket or when I talk about groceries, I have the language to do that and feel quite confident. Now, in a specific situation, you might have the confidence. For example, you might be able to talk about the weather in English, or you might be able to talk about general conversations that you have with your friends. Maybe you learn English through video games. And in those particular situations, you might feel confident and have no issues. But then you have an interview in English, or let's say you have to use English in a meeting, or you have to present yourself and you feel really nervous and the words just don't seem to come to you. And maybe in your profession, you need to communicate quite complex ideas. And you might know all of the language in your first language, whether that's Spanish, Portuguese, or Arabic, whatever language you speak. And it's, how can I do that? I know how to do this in my first language. How can I do it naturally in English? Now, one way is to learn through specific contexts and specific situations. Now, one common situation, if you're working in English, is many of us have meetings. Now, I'd like to know, how often do you have meetings every week? Do you have a meeting once per week? Every day? Maybe once per month? Or maybe you don't really have any meetings. Let me know, how often do you have meetings? How often do you have meetings? Are they every day? Do you have a daily every day? Okay, Carolina said 5 meetings per week. Okay, so I guess every work day. Okay, perfect. 5 meetings per week. Let me know, how often do you have meetings? Danielle said daily. Okay, it seems quite common. Daily meetings. Great to hear that. Great to have you here. I hope you're doing well. Perfect. So how many meetings do you have every week? As you can see, we have meetings very frequently. Now, there are different types of meetings. So meetings are typically a space for people to connect and share ideas and collaborate on a shared goal. Whether it's just a quick chat with colleagues, it might not be a formal meeting, or it could be a brainstorming session. It could be a crucial decision-making meeting. It could be you're brainstorming ideas, you're sharing and generating ideas. But it could also be just a chance for you to engage with your colleagues or stakeholders, and it's also a good opportunity to drive progress in your work. Let's say we have Juan Carlos said once a week. Not as often, okay? Not too bad, once a week. Now, what type of meeting do you have? Like I mentioned, there's different types. It could be that you have a brainstorming or an ideation session. It could be an ideation session. Do you have status updates? Are you giving a status of your work? Or are they decision-making meetings? Or problem-solving meetings? Or one I didn't mention, Carolina just said sales meetings. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it could also be sales meetings. Okay, maybe we said we have a meeting frequently. How frequently? So is it once a week, once a month, every day? Let us know. Okay, so you can have different types of meetings. Now, based on these meetings, for example, Carolina, who has sales meetings, the specific language you're going to use might be quite different than if you're having a status update. So we're going to look specifically at the language in context, and I'll be sharing some different phrases and vocabulary and examples that you can use in these very specific situations. So let's look specifically at brainstorming sessions. So a brainstorming session is a meeting that encourages creative thinking. You want to generate your ideas among team members, and usually promote innovation. So if you're working in design and tech, it might be quite common that you have this type of meeting, typically at the start of a project. If you're working in project management, it's likely you have these types of meetings. Maybe if you're working in marketing, it's quite common to have these sessions as well. Or if you're working in sales, to come up with ideas. And yeah, I'm going to be showing some, let's see, we have a few comments. So Danielle said meetings to talk about status or to present the work. Perfect. So status updates and to share your work, present your work. Perfect. Okay, and Maruba said usually meetings once per week. So how often do you have meetings? Once a week. Okay. Now, the primary goal, if you have a brainstorming session, is to generate a wide range of creative ideas and potential solutions specifically to a problem or challenge. So there's usually a clear goal or a problem statement for the session. Might not be very formal, but you usually have a goal of that meeting, hopefully. Now, brainstorming sessions often have a time limit because you want to be focused and productive. Who here has a meeting, maybe this week, and in your meeting, it lasts longer than the amount that it says? So maybe the meeting is supposed to be for 30 minutes and it lasts for 1 hour. How often does that happen? Is it common that it happens to you? The meeting runs over. Okay, so one thing is when you're generating ideas. So I'm going to just share some vocabulary with you. So we have brainstorming, to brainstorm. To brainstorm, you might say, let's brainstorm some ideas for this project. Now, this phrase is used to encourage a group to generate a wide range of ideas. So like, let's brainstorm some ideas for this project. Let's come up with some ideas together. Let's work together. Now, another thing is you might say to pitch ideas, to pitch ideas. And this is, for example, I'd like to pitch my idea for the marketing campaign. This is used typically if you're pitching, it's when you want to present formally in a more formal way, and you're going to advocate for a specific concept or proposal. So to pitch. Who here has to pitch their ideas? I know Daniel said he has to present his work. So who here has to pitch? Now, another thing is when it comes to generating ideas, another word or phrase that you can use that's very helpful is to bounce ideas off each other. To bounce ideas off each other. Now, this is used when you want to share your thoughts or concepts informally with someone. So to bounce your ideas off of someone. So as I'm speaking during a meeting, I might say, I'm just bouncing some ideas off you to see what you think. I'm just bouncing some ideas off you to see what you think. So who do you typically bounce ideas off when working on a project? Who do you usually bounce ideas off when you're working on a project? Let me know. Is it usually your manager? Is it another designer? Is it someone completely different? Who do you bounce your ideas off? Let me know. Now, another thing we can say is to throw out ideas. Now, this has two meanings. If I'm throwing out an idea, it could be that I'm throwing the idea in the rubbish, in the trash. I'm throwing the idea in the trash. Or it can be used during a meeting to say, I'm just throwing out an idea and it just comes to my mind, maybe it's not a very good idea, but I just want to share it with you. So for example, don't be afraid to throw out any idea, no matter how wild it seems. So even if you have a crazy idea, you might want to share it. Now, this phrase usually is good to encourage people to share an idea. So when you're brainstorming, you typically want to generate ideas and dive into, even maybe you want to be more innovative and come up with some concepts and ideas that are new. So you might say, don't be afraid to throw out some ideas. It doesn't matter if it's a little crazy. Okay, let's see. So Danielle said, I bounce off with stakeholders or other teammates. Perfect. So you can say, you need to say, I bounce ideas off. I bounce ideas off. Because that would just be one. So yeah, I bounce ideas off, and then I need to say with. So I bounce ideas off stakeholders or other teammates. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, you already made the. No worries. Probably a typo. Easily done. Yeah. I bounce ideas off stakeholders or other teammates. Wonderful. Yeah. I bounce ideas off. That's a phrasal verb when you want to share ideas between each other. Okay. Wonderful. So one thing is, like I said, you can throw out ideas. It has two meanings. If you were listening, let me know. What are the different meanings? So one, to throw out ideas. It could be to throw out in the trash. And what's the other meaning? Let's see if you were listening. Okay. Now, another thing is, if you like an idea, let's say you are bouncing ideas off other stakeholders and they give a really good idea. So let's say they give a really good idea and you think, yeah, let's do it. Now you can say, let's run with it. Let's run with it. So to run with an idea, to run with it. I think we can run with this concept and develop it further. Now, this phrase is used when someone believes that a particular idea has some potential. So yeah, I like this. Let's run with it. Let's go for it. Okay, let's see. Carolina said to throw out in the trash. Perfect. And to encourage others to throw out ideas. Yeah, exactly. To throw out ideas. Thank you. Nicely done. You were listening. Good to hear that. Okay, so we can say to throw out ideas, and we've just seen the definition of that. Or it could be when you like the idea that someone gives in a meeting, you can say, let's run with it, to run with an idea. If you think, this is a good idea, it has potential. Now, another thing is, let's say it's a good idea, but maybe it's a little bit basic. It needs a little something. It needs more. We can say we need to flesh out an idea. To flesh out an idea. And we use this if we want to go from a very basic concept to a more complete plan. So it's just the initial idea. So I might say we need to flesh out the details of the proposal. We need to flesh out the details of for the solution. We need to flesh it out. So to flesh out an idea. Okay, looks like we're all following. So if you just joined, welcome. I am sharing specific language in context to help you to communicate complex concepts simply, specifically for design and tech professionals, although this is specifically for meetings. So I think any type of professional would find this language helpful. Okay, so far we've looked at a few different words and phrases that you can use, as well as phrasal verbs. So we just have a question. Yes, flesh, exactly. Flesh also can be like flesh and bones, like my flesh of my body. And that's where it comes from. So you think about The initial idea is just the bones, and then the flesh just makes it whole. Maybe that's a little weird to think about, but that's it, exactly. To flesh out an idea. Now, it is a phrasal verb, so you do need to say to flesh out. No problem. Happy to help you. Okay, so we have brainstorming. When we're brainstorming an idea, brainstorming is when you're coming up with generating lots of ideas. We can also pitch ideas. We know about presenting and pitching ideas. Presenting and pitching, it can be either in a really formal context or it might not be. But typically, if you're pitching, it usually means that you are presenting something, usually more formal, and for a specific concept or proposal. Now, another thing we've looked at today is bouncing off ideas, to bounce off ideas. Now, when you're bouncing off an idea, it's usually you have some ideas or concepts and you want to share them with someone else. This is more of an informal word, informal phrasal verb, to bounce off ideas. Okay, so we also looked out to throw out ideas. And to throw out an idea is, even if it's a little crazy, you're just sharing that idea with your colleagues or maybe your friends. Like, I'm just going to throw it out there, but I think that tomorrow it's going to rain. For example, it's just a crazy idea, which I really hope so. In Mexico City, at least in Mexico where I am, it hasn't rained for over 6 months. So I'm going to throw out a crazy idea that hopefully it will rain tomorrow. Okay. Now, another thing is, if you like an idea and you think it has potential, you might say to run with it, to run with an idea. I think we can run with this concept. I really like it. Now, another thing is to scrutinize. Now, to scrutinize something, any ideas what it means to scrutinize? I'll give you a moment to think about this one. To scrutinize. Now, let's scrutinize this proposal to identify any potential issues. So if you're scrutinizing something, it means that we are usually looking for any issues or mistakes. So scrutinize. Let me see if I can type. Good question. Asking for the spelling. Scrutinize. Let's see if it shares. I think it shares within, yeah, this is the spelling. Scrutinize. To scrutinize. Now, if it's in American English, it would be a different spelling. So in American English, I believe it's with a Z. So I am actually from the UK, and let's see. Yeah, in American English, scrutinize with a Z. Now, I won't go into the differences between American and British English. Not today. That is something that I sometimes teach about. But yeah, British English, scrutinize. Same pronunciation. Okay. So to scrutinize means to inspect something or to examine carefully. So if you're evaluating an idea in a meeting, you might use this. You might say, let's scrutinize this proposal to identify any potential issues. Okay. Yeah, another example. So to scrutinize, I can also say, you could use it, for example, if you go to a hotel and maybe you don't have the best experience, you might say, the people were, I guess, scrutinizing their experience at the hotel. It's usually when they are examining something. Or I guess if you're looking to find a new place to live, it might be that you want to scrutinize the terms and conditions for your new accommodation. I know, for example, if you are renting a new apartment, you might want to scrutinize the documents before you sign the contract. I want to make sure I'm looking at the small print. I want to make sure that everything is good. Or if you work as a freelancer and you have a contract with a company, let's say, you might want to scrutinize the proposal before working with the contractor. Yeah, to scrutinize, to examine and look for any potential issues or maybe mistakes. Okay, we have one more, and that could be that you have an idea and you want to make it even stronger. So you can say to build on. I think we can build on this concept. To build on. To build on. So to build on, it means that we have a good idea, but we want to make it even better. I think we can build on this concept and make it even stronger. Now you have to say to build on, because if you just say to build, it means to build a house or to construct something. To build on an idea is specifically to make something even better, usually an idea or a concept. Okay, now we have one more, and that is that relates to when you're evaluating an idea in a meeting. Then you might say, before fully committing to something, so, okay, I like this idea, I've scrutinized the idea, we've built on the idea, and now it is time to test the waters. To test the waters. Now, to test the waters is usually before you fully commit to something. Before fully committing, we can test the waters with user research, or we can test the waters with a pilot project. Now, this is very common in design and tech to test the waters, maybe before launching something. We use this when we're not sure if an idea will succeed. So we start with a small test or an experiment to test the waters. We're testing it first. We're testing an idea before we run with it, before we go with it. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions as we go through. I know it's quite a lot of vocabulary. It's good to see so many of you here watching. I have just a few more that I'm going to be sharing with you. But let me know if you have any questions as we go through. And if you are watching the replay, feel free to ask any questions or send me a message, and I'm happy to answer them and help you. Okay, so another type of meeting that we might have, or specific situation. One thing in the comments, I think it was Danielle said that he has meetings to talk about status, a status update. Now, a status update, this type of meeting is typically to share progress, accomplishments, and challenges. The primary goal is to share progress and challenges, and usually there's a clear agenda. It follows a structured schedule. And they're essential really for promoting accountability and effective project management in a team or a company. So let's look at some phrases that you can use specifically in that situation. For those of you who just joined, one of the best ways for you to improve your English vocabulary, to improve your language, is learning in specific situations. Okay, so one thing that you can use is maybe you want to summarize Now, to summarize, you might say, in a nutshell. In a nutshell. Let me just share this one with you. In a nutshell. Now, to be in a nutshell, this means that you are providing a concise summary or a brief overview of a situation or topic. For example, in a nutshell, the project is progressing well and we're on track to meet our deadline. So, in a nutshell. And then I'm giving just a short overview or summary. In a nutshell. Now, another thing, one reason for a status update is to share information. So if you want to share information, you might say, we'll have a quick meeting to bring everyone up to speed. We'll have a quick meeting to bring everyone up to speed on the latest developments in the project. So here, the phrasal verb we have is to bring up to speed. To bring up to speed. And this is used when you need to make sure that everyone is well informed and they are aware, they understand the current progress or changes. So to bring up to speed. Okay, I have just one more to share with you. And that is when maybe you want to share that one of the ideas or the projects, you want to maybe not completely stop it, but you want to pause it. You want to pause something and maybe come back to it. So one phrasal verb that you can use, or one phrase that you can use, is to be on the back burner. To be on the back burner. Now, to be on the back burner is used when you want to convey, when you want to share that a project or task has been temporarily, it's just for a short time, and you're going to set it aside. It's just paused, like a video game. I'm just going to pause it. I'm going to put it on the back burner. Now, for example, in the sentence, the research project is on the back burner for now as we focus on urgent client work. Okay, let's see. We have a question. Is it similar to stay up to date? Yes. So to bring up to speed is very similar. Now, to stay up to date is a little bit more general, but specifically in a meeting, I would say, like, okay, we have this meeting today and I just want to bring everyone up to speed. You could also say, okay, we have this meeting today and I want to keep everyone updated. I would like everyone to be updated. It's kind of similar, but as you can see, it's a little bit more awkward to say that. But generally, you are staying up to date with the information. But generally, if you're staying up to date with information, it's more in a general situation. Perfect. Glad to hear that that helped. Okay, now we've looked at a few different phrases and language that you can use, specifically in a meeting when you are giving a status update. Now we've looked at in a nutshell. In a nutshell is used when you want to give a concise summary or an overview. We've also looked at to bring up to speed. And that is used when you want to make sure that everyone understands, they have all of the current up-to-date information. And then also we've looked at to be on the back burner. So this is used when you want to show that maybe a project or a task has been paused temporarily. So not forever, it's not a no, but it's just a short time that we are putting it to the side. Just going to put that on the back burner. Let me know, is this something that you currently have on the back burner? Maybe you have not prioritized it. It's like, I would like to do that, but maybe not right now. So I'm going to put it on the back burner. Something that you know you need to do, but you're not doing it right now. That could be something on the back burner. Let me know if there's anything at the moment. Okay, so I have one more specific situation that I'm going to share and share some phrases and language for you. Now, if you've just joined, welcome. I see there's a few more joining, so hello and welcome. Let me know where you are joining from and what do you do. So I've been sharing with you today some specific language and how you can communicate sometimes complex concepts simply, specifically for design and tech professionals. Now, one thing I've said again and again, and I always say, is how important it is to learn language in specific situations. So the current situation we're looking at is when you are in a meeting and you're sharing a status update. Now, another area we're going to look at now is when you want to contribute ideas. Now, contributing ideas in a meeting is a valuable way for you to provide information. It's a way for you to participate and make an impact at work. If you don't contribute ideas, you're going to be silent. And maybe that happens. I know for many of the design and tech professionals that I work with, it can be really challenging. You have all these great ideas, but having to speak up, it's not so easy. I know that it can be very challenging. So every idea, regardless of its size or complexity, does have the potential to really contribute to your team's goal, performance, and objectives. So I know it's challenging to do that, but one way to simplify complex concepts is to summarize your ideas and focus on the key points and avoid unnecessary details. So I'm going to provide some language review to help you when it comes to speaking up. Now, what does it mean to speak up? It means to express your ideas more loudly or assertively. Don't be afraid to speak up during the meetings. Your ideas are important. Now, let's have a look at some more language that you can use. Now, one is to open up. To open up has a lot of meanings, but one specific meaning of to open up means to be more candid, to be more honest or forthcoming about your thoughts, feelings, and ideas. So we encourage you to open up and share your perspective. So if you're in a meeting and maybe there's someone on your team and you know they have some good ideas, but they're not sharing them, you might say to them, I encourage you to open up and share your perspective. Okay, so we have one more for this specific situation, and that is to jump in. To jump in. Now, to jump in is used when you want to invite someone to the conversation or discussion. So I might say to you, feel free to jump in at any time and share your thoughts. I would love for you to do that now. Feel free to jump in and share your thoughts. What do you think about today's live session? Feel free to jump in and let me know. Okay, we're almost coming to the end of today's live session, but I would love to know, what is one phrase or vocabulary that you've learned today? Share it with me in the comments. That would be very cool to see if you've learned something new today. I hope so. And if so, what is it that you've learned today? I know I've been speaking a little little bit. Carolina said, love it, my first time. So good to have you here. Let me know, was there something that you've learned today? And what was it? I'm sorry, the air is a little dry today, and I know I've been speaking a lot. I have just one more thing to share with you, and that is that I would really love to invite, if you've enjoyed today, if you've learned at least one thing and you've liked learning from me, I would love to extend an invitation. Now, I'm going to be offering next week only, a 5-day sprint to fluent vocabulary. Now, the 5-day sprint to vocabulary is a free live course. It's completely free. You don't need to pay anything to join me, just your time. And the goal of this is to help you improve your professional vocabulary as a design and tech professional. So all you have to do is register for the 5-day event. And next Monday, we're going to be getting started with the 5-day sprint. And the 5-day sprint gives you access to the Fluent Speakers community platform. I have a platform with many design and tech professionals from all over the world. We have students from Poland, from Spain, from Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, many different countries. Carolina said she's enrolled. Wonderful. Perfect. Great to have you enrolled. I can also say Costa Rica, many different countries. And you get access to the platform where you can communicate with me. I'm there to support you. And we're going to be doing different sessions. Now, the sessions today was just a little glimpse of how I teach and how it works. We're going to have at least 6 hours over the next week of group sessions. So there's a class every single day. They're at different times. All of them are recorded, and you can go back and watch the trainings. And the goal of this vocabulary challenge is to help you learn language in context, to develop your English vocabulary, to build your speaking fluency, because in these live sessions, it's not like this one. You're actually going to be able to show your face if you want to and practice and speak with me. I've ran this before, and one of the best things that really helps when it comes to vocabulary is we're looking at specific situations that you will be using in your job. Maybe you're already using English at work, or you would like to be. You'd like to have an international job where you will use English. By running through this experience, we're almost simulating that in a safe environment, so you can overcome any fear of making mistakes with vocabulary and just generally feel more confident using English at work. So I'm going to share the link with you. If you can't see the link, send me a message with the word sprint, and I will share all of the details on how you can register. Now, registration is open until next Monday, because we will be getting started on Monday. We have our first sessions on Monday, so we'll close on Monday. We will close things up. They are live sessions, yeah. So there's a combination. We have live sessions every day, and there's live sessions, but each day you will be sent a very small video training. Now, the video training is a pre-recorded training, usually around 10 minutes, and it will share the vocabulary, similar to like I've done today, very similar, and you will be able to watch that in your own time, and then you can come to the session and practice. If you don't watch the video before, it's not a problem. You will still be able to come to the live session. It's very flexible in that way. So then you also have you get access to the daily videos, and then we will have the different live sessions. And there's also a few different activities and quizzes to help you implement the language. Because one thing is learning it and then going to the next day, learning it and the next day. One thing when it comes to vocabulary acquisition and learning language is being able to implement and practice after. So there's a few different activities as well to support you with that. So some of the different topics we'll be looking at: effective small talk for networking. We're looking at effective business meetings, customer-centric communication, powerful presentations, and mastering negotiations, and improving your vocabulary as a design and tech professional. So it's a few different lessons that we have. I'm really excited to be able to offer this to you completely for free. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to send me a message or write the word sprint, and I can share you the details to register completely for free. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. I think Carolina said, how can I join a space in the platform? Send me a message and I'll explain how to do that. No problem. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. As you see, I help design and tech professionals transform their English-speaking fluency so they not only survive at work, but can thrive in their professional career. If you are looking for any support in improving your English fluency, make sure to join the sprint next week. Leave a comment with the word sprint, and I'll share the details on how to register. But thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. I will see you all very soon. And bye for now. Thank you. Bye.